Today we are going to discuss about UAT. As you all well aware about, user acceptance testing is one kind of testing which will be performed in application development by end of the project. So wherein it has its own importance in reference to the user acceptance testing, especially in the field of application development, where we have to ensure that this user acceptance testing must ensure whatever the business needs customer wants to achieve, that must be ensured. For that, generally this user acceptance testing is going to be useful. Now today I'm going to discuss about three different points in reference to the UAT part. So one is what user acceptance testing is all about, and second, why user acceptance testing is required in application development, followed by the kind of objectives what we have. At the same time, I'm going to discuss about how it is being relating for a business analyst, because business analyst role is something essentially important for application development. So one must be knowing about in what way business analyst is involving in user acceptance testing. So if you want to understand user acceptance testing, usually this is a kind of testing we do of the end of the stage of the project. Once the analysis done, right, planning, design, implementation testing, the kind of testings like integration testing, system testing, regression testing, all these things we have done finally. Before you are going to deliver the project to the customer, we have to test this application into an environment where we have to ensure that whatever the business needs customer is expecting us to develop must be ensured properly. So for that, user acceptance testing is being done by the team members. Now let's understand why user acceptance testing is required, because UAT is the one which is required for us to demonstrate the kind of required business functionalities, so that we have to see and make sure that whatever the real world circumstances followed by the users and all, everything must be suitable to this. So hence, whatever the required customer wants us to deliver, so that we have to ensure. So for that, generally UAT is essentially important. Apart from the remaining testing functionalities, what is that we do in regular intervals. But when it comes to the objectives of user acceptance testing, because there are some UAT objectives we need to understand, where we have to demonstrate. At the same time, we need to ensure that whatever the business requirements we have identified must be fit into the system environment, what is that we have developed. At the same time, the other objective where we need to design and conduct the test scenarios, where we need to identify the view of identifying where the product is getting failed in order to meet the needs of the business. This is in reference to the perception of the stakeholders followed by the users. At the same time, there is a third objective where we need to support the business and user community, wherein by ensuring whatever the product we are developing must be a sufficient level of quality to be accepted, which is acceptable for us to deploy the application at any level. At the same time, the other objective where we need to see, we have to gain some kind of confidence in terms of the quality of the system, what is that we are developing. At the same time, we need to understand how this is being used importantly from the perspective of the stakeholders, all that stuff. So these are the objectives being a business analyst team as well as the other team members should ensure when they are performing user acceptance testing here. Now, the important point, what is that I'm going to discuss, in what way business analyst is relating to that. Because as you know, business analyst is the person, individual or a group of people who try to understand the kind of business requirements what we have, and followed by this necessary solutions will be provided by the BA. So business analyst plays a vital and important role in UAT, wherein they have to focus on understanding the business needs. At the same time, they have to make sure whatever the needs they have identified must be delivered properly by the technical team. In this beginning of this process of ensuring the delivery, we need to understand the front end work, what user acceptance testing provide and how is this important to check, as well as it has to make sure that whatever the business needs have been fulfilled correctly met or not. At the same time, what is the way of acceptable to the users and as well as for the businesses. At the same time, participating in UAT process where to get a significant opportunity to ensure that whatever the solutions provided by the system should be precisely what business needs all about. In this regard, being a business analyst, one should participate in UAT process wherein they have to make sure the kind of values as well as the application development must be delivered properly. So for this, there are some points which being a BA has to be done. The one is that identifying UAT testers is the first point need to be understood with. Next, planning UAT tests and all everything is the second point which being a BA has to do. Next, determining when to do user acceptance testing should be known to the business analyst well in advance. Last but not least, delivering business value through user acceptance testing is also one more thing. So whatever I was mentioned you so far are the major focuses of BA when they are performing business analyst user acceptance testing as a role of BA. Because if you are a business analyst, if you try to understand or if you want to perform user acceptance testing, these points should ensure. The first point, as I told you, identifying user UAT testers where users can to be of two different types like active users and passive users usually. These active users are in the persons who are actually interacted with this kind of systems and the kind of hands-on on the keyboard, where the passive users are the someone who don't usually interact with the systems directly. So passive users maybe are the people, indirect people I can say, whereas active users are the people who are working on the system directly. So that's understanding essentially required, especially for a BA when they are going to perform UAT process. At the same time, second is planning UAT tests, where we have to plan the user acceptance testing significantly from the different planning and other type of testings. Because of that, the whole process of user acceptance testing is different. At the same time, whatever the kind of testing that are to be done and as well as the focusing on the finding of the defects, that we have to ensure that whatever the fewer defects remaining to be found, it has to be focused more on the areas of system which actually being used in the practice level from the customer perspective. This is also the second point which being a business analyst one must be good and familiar with. The third point is that determining when to do user acceptance testing. Usually people have some idea where user acceptance testing must be performed at the end of the project, as you know well. But doing this crucial evaluation might be significant, might have some significant risk which is involved in it, wherein we need to find what are the issues to be found in UAT. At the same time, we have to ensure and we have to see what kind of delays that can be happened even because of the timelines or whatever it is. At the same time, we need to be understood what kind of acceptance to be done here accordingly. And last but not least, being a business analyst, we need to deliver business value through user acceptance testing, wherein we need to participate actively by involving in planning and execution. At the same time, the important way of business analyst to ensure that whatever the value is required for the application to be delivered must be ensured properly. So right from the beginning, usually testing people will be performed more in the different test levels where integration testing, regression testing, module testing, all unit level testing, all these will be done by them. So by performing all these testings, finally being a BA, as we are the front face of the project, one should ensure that whatever the application we have developed is meeting all the business needs, whatever we have promised and whatever a customer is expecting so far. In view of it, business analysis or business analyst team are more important in reference to the UAT process. Knowing about the process of UAT is essentially important for any BA to perform more as well as provide some better value to the existing application what we have developed so far according to the needs of the customer. This is all about UAT, followed by in perspective of a business analyst. I was discussed this. I hope you have got the clarity about the role of BA in reference to the role of BA itself. If you have any questions or for further information regarding this, you can always reach to the contact details which will be posted in the below to this video.